Hey, what's up guys? Little man with a big opinion here. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about ways that my family stays comfortable, warm in the winter. There's going to be a little bit of operational security involved in it, and we'll see what kind of rabbit holes we go down. So, I think the low for tonight is about 49, and for the most part, we don't really run our heater. It's starting to get chilly in here because if you couldn't tell, uh, I've got a fan on with the window cracked because we enjoy the cold. Uh, it's loads better than uh, the summers when we have to have the AC blasting just to try to stay comfortable. But it is starting to get chilly. So the very first thing I'm going to do is layers. Um, so I've just got, I think this thing is made out of polyester, but it's just a pullover, no hood. It's got, a pretty good thickness to it, and it does help a little bit with the wind, but this one is more of just adding a nice layer. So, long sleeve, and if you're looking at it from the tactical perspective, it's made by Columbia. I got it for the Boy Scouts of America, but it's a nice OD green, so you could wear it for your hunting or your minute manning or just those kind of things as well, and it'll give you a small sense of camouflage. But that's what I'd say the very first thing. Doesn't matter where you live, you should have the correct clothing to deal with the climate, the culture that you live in. Whether it's Florida or Illinois, you're going to have the correct clothing anyway. And so the only thing you really need to add to that is just imagine yourself in your coldest day without our modern amenities. Or let's say the power was out for 3 days. So, the example I always go back to is the big freeze in Texas. We had a fireplace, so we lit a fire, we pulled out sleeping bags and put on our jackets and basically camped inside of our house. So, everyone should think about camping inside of their house. Our fireplaces, we're getting our inspection done. We've got about a cord's worth of wood, and so that is a very nice backup. Having the tools to light that fire is a little bit different. Doesn't have to be a Zippo lighter, but and it's under the awning so it stays nice and dry. So the first thing I'd say is you have the clothes and the layers. You should have that because you go out in public anyway in the winter. Now just imagine having to wear it more often. So if you were stuck in your car breaks down in the middle of the night, maybe you shouldn't tell yourself, well, I'm going to go for my heated house. I'll be outside in the elements for 45 seconds and then I'll get into my heated car. Go ahead and toss the jacket in your car. Keep the lighter in your pocket. Act like things could go bad clothing wise, and you could probably carry the things you need to keep yourself comfortable and to keep yourself alive. At home, that's your fortress of solitude. You have everything with you, so it's very, very easy to just say, pull the jackets out of the closet and we'll be fine. I keep mentioning the clothes. If you've got the fireplace or the wood burning stove, those are awesome. But I did say I talk about, operational security. So we have tons of sleeping bags. We've kind of gone a bit overboard because I've got, my sleeping bags from the army. And I've got two of those because even after I got out, I went and got another one. And when I say I've got the full sleep system, the patrol sleeping bag, uh, the heavier duty one, and then the outer liner to go. I think it drops it down to 0 degrees. And I'm pretty sure you can kind of see. Oh, I'm not pointing right there. I'm pretty sure that's my sleeping bag liner. I'm trying to turn this shelf into prepping stuff. Yep, that's one of the sleeping bag liners. So not only do we have the kind of heavy duty army ones, but I've got my hiking sleeping bags for when I went to Philmont and did stuff with the scouts for that. And then I've just got other sleeping. I think I counted one time we had about 10. And it worked out really, really nice because it got down to like 15 degrees when we had that snowmageddon, and we were able to stick sleeping bags inside of sleeping bags to layer them up, and we were good to go. Thanks, cat. Did you have to knock that off the desk? I think she did. But we were able to keep ourselves warm, and then we had a couple of college friends that weren't prepared at all, that they came and stayed at our place. We had sleeping bags for them, and I know I let one of my friends just borrow a sleeping bag, and he gave it back to me, a couple of weeks later after things had kind of normalized. But in that situation, we weren't worried about someone coming up to our door, trying to do any harm because they can see smoke coming out of the chimney. But you might be in a situation where you don't want people to see smoke coming out of your chimney. So, bare bones level is you tough it up with your clothing and your sleeping bags, and you don't have to worry about a fireplace or wood burning stove. Your next option, which is going to negate the smoke, is we've got a Mr. Buddy heater. I know it's in the closet somewhere, and in its, I put it in its own container that I keep an extra carbon monoxide detector just in its container because I've used the Mr. Buddy heater in my car. I've used the Mr. Buddy heater in like a canvas wall tent. I've used it in a deer stand. So I have a carbon monoxide detector all the time ready to go. But your home, if you're going to be running anything to try to keep yourself warm, even if, I think if we're following a PACE plan, my emergency option would be to turn our gas stove on and just open the door. But, periodically check your smoke detectors, your carbon monoxide detectors. You should have one in every room, and they've gotten pretty good that nowadays their batteries last for 10 years, and even if the batteries start to go bad sooner, they chirp at you like crazy, letting you know that they are dying and that you should replace me. So it doesn't have to be the Mr. Buddy heater, but just running some kind of heater that is gas, just know you need the carbon monoxide. If you're fortunate enough to have the solar that can keep up with an electric heater, go for it. I know my little battery bank probably couldn't turn the smallest electric heater on that we have because electric heaters pull a lot of electricity. I'd say using just a regular gas generator could be an option, but that goes into that operational security discussion on, uh, that's going to make a lot of noise and it's going to let people know, hey, this person has, some sort of power going on. Kind of, going into the same, uh, little rant about, preparing for the winter and stuff. We really like to, have calorie options that don't require us to cook if we don't have to. So I'm eating my cookies and cream Pop Tart, but we like to keep extra food options on hand if, it just gets very, very cold. We don't want to get out of bed. So we're just hanging out in bed, reading a book, paying attention to the news, coming up with another video topic to talk about. But it kind of goes into the same concept of, the fireplace keeps us warm, but it can also be a place that we can, prepare food if we needed to. Can't really use the Mr. Buddy heater, but, we've got a Coleman stove that we could use if anything got messed up. And then, the other winter preparation that we do is doing more water storage inside of the house, which, give me a second. It reminded me, I just got this at a garage sale. $2 whole. I think they're going right now today for about $10, $11. But it's one of those, 5-gallon collapsible water containers. We will do more water storage inside of the house or inside of the garage than keeping it outside. And I'd already checked, it's still even in its original plastic wrap. But that adds another 5 gallons of water storage that we can have inside of the house. And, the plan is to get another one of these, hard plastic shelves to put over here that we can just dedicate that just to water storage. But we like to keep about a week's worth of water inside of the house and, the 55-gallon drum outside. I should wrap it so that it is, insulated and, stuff for that, but it's not, I'm not hugely worried about that because where I live, it doesn't freeze all that often. Now, if you lived, Oklahoma or higher, you might have more freeze days. I think my in-laws are getting their first snow day and they're up in Oregon. So your prepping needs are going to be different for all of this different stuff. But generally speaking, every year I would say, you need to get your fireplace checked. Make sure everything with that is good to go because you don't want to burn your house down trying to stay warm. Make sure your smoke detectors and your detectors are running. And I think the easiest thing to help prep for, this kind of weather, depending on where you're at, is just layer up. I would say that your home should already have a nice good old roof over your head. If y'all want, I can make a similar video to this, except if you were bugging out or in, not in a house. How would you stay warm in the wintertime? From a, bug out vehicle perspective, from a just bug out bag perspective. And, generally speaking, you want to stay inside of your home because it's insulated, and even if you have none of these options, it's going to be warmer inside of your home than it is outside. But I think at this point, I've started to ramble. That's how I'm keeping my house warm slash keeping myself comfortable in the winter. Let me know if y'all have questions in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, like it, subscribe to the channel, send your friends and family my way if you want to help them out in their preparedness journey as well. Catch you next time.